Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to look at a reel called Toss the Feathers, but the one that's in the key of D. And specifically this lesson is about a bag of licks. Now what the hell is that? In bluegrass parlance, it's a whole load of different musical ideas that you can slot into a tune. In a recent interview with Jim Pankey, he talked about these licks or these little pieces of music being like the ingredients in a recipe list that you can draw from in order to build interest in a song or in a tune. In Ireland, it's a slightly different way of looking at it because really we would call this ornamentation. But because a bag of licks is a very well-known phrase, I'm going to use it. We don't really have an equivalent in Ireland to draw on. So what this lesson is about is taking two bars from Toss the Feathers and showing you many ways that you can ornament it using triplets, chromatic triplets, chords, harmonies, all sorts of different ways. The idea is that you'll then be able to take each of these little nuggets and add them into other tunes. This is a way of building up your overall library of ornaments and embellishments to add into lots of different tunes. The two bars that we're going to deal with are really common. They're very simple. It's just a repeating motif that pops up in many tunes in all sorts of keys. So the idea behind this is to give you this smorgasbord of musical ornaments. Pick a few that you like, learn them off, and then go to tunes that you know and see, would they pop into that? And so this is all about, really about expanding your kind of musical vocabulary. And ultimately it's about creating your own style, because there will be ornaments that will speak to you and others that won't. So here is Toss the Feathers, the reel as I would play it. To get the simple version, which is important to learn, head on over to Patreon. That's going to be there. On Patreon, I'm going to do all of the simple lessons. So like the most basic version of the tune. And then as I do with all of my lessons, gradually, in a very systematic way, show you how to add in single note triplets, chromatic and run triplets, chords, harmony, and some variations. So there'll be 6 or 7 of those graduated lessons available on Patreon. But the purposes of this video is to show you a bag of licks. Now what we're going to do here is I'm going to play the tune for you. It's kind of going to describe what it would be like with all of the aspects and all of the elements added in. Here we go. Toss the Feathers. So let's talk about a bag of licks. We're going to use the first 2 measures or the first 2 bars of the second part. This is it in its simplest format. So it couldn't be any easier. So let's just jump straight in. I'm going to try and start with simple ideas and then build it up into more complicated ideas. So here we go. For context, what I'm going to do now is play the first 4 bars of the second part. And each time I'm going to change the first 2 bars, if that makes sense. So this will show you, hopefully, how to put this into a bit of context. I'll start with the unembellished version. Little interjection to say that often the embellishment or the lick or the ornament that you would do in the first 2 bars, you might mirror that in the next 2. And that's a very common kind of trick in a lot of classical music, particularly Baroque music, which is this kind of mirroring or echoing effect. So just listen out for those ideas as well. That one is some chromatic triplets. So just to slow it down for you, it's... Right. Are you bamboozled yet? There's so many different ways to do it. And there's a beauty in the simple ones. The mirroring is not essential, but once you start doing it, it tends to kind of catch on. Another trick, of course, is contrast. So to do a very busy 2 bars followed by a simple 2 bars, though often I would do this as maybe a complicated 8 measures or 8 bars followed by a simple. But for the purposes of demonstration, we'll just try a few of those. So complicated and simple. I hope you're still watching. If you like this style of video, please hit the like and subscribe button. That makes a huge deal. Better again, watch all the way to the end. And do leave a comment. And if you want access to all of the notation for everything, head on over to Patreon. I've got like 80 lessons up there at the moment. Each of them has between 7 and 10 instructional videos for each one. So like there's hundreds of video tutorials for banjo and for mandolin. I think you're going to love it. It's brilliant value. Go check it out.